the day after yesterday, which was the end of lockdown in terms of flying anyway. So this is my second flight in 2 days. A little bit more benign than yesterday so far. Oh yes, I'm in the air again. So, yesterday was not the benign conditions that I was hoping for. I got rained on. Oh, come on. The wind started off very light, then I got rained on. Then I got strong wind. Then I got sucked into, well, not sucked into, but I got wave. And then it got really strong at the end, which is why I landed in a different place to normal. Erring on the side of safety. Today I'm on a different site. This is called Stanage Edge. Which brings its own challenges. This site can be very rough when the wind is not quite in the right direction. And the wind is not quite in the right direction now, so it's a little bit rough. This hill takes a southwesterly wind through to sort of west-southwest, and it's a nice long run. I have videoed on this hill before, and I got really quite high on it on that video. The takeoff on this site is a bit of a challenge because it is a very shallow slope, so you have to do a good run because you're close to the ground for longer, which actually increases the danger. Steeper takeoffs are actually safer. So, as you can see, there is a nice long ridge to go at here. You can fly all the way along that ridge, and I'm going to do that now. It's a nice scenic site is this. So I'm currently flying in what's known as ridge lift, where the wind hits the ridge and goes up because it's hitting it perpendicular to the ridge. There's some little bits of thermals around, which is caused by the heating of the sun on the ground. And yesterday I was flying in some wave lift that took me very high, very smooth. There we go, that's the thermal. Oh yeah! I love thermaling. It just feels like magic when you're going around in circles and going up like that. It's like, what's taking me up? It's magic! Quite nice conditions so far. The wind is my varial says it's bang on southwest. I think it's just a little bit south of that. Averaging about 16 miles an hour, which is perfect for hang gliding. Just going up all the way here. Still going up. Wow, look at that. That's the hill, Stanage Edge. Pretty cool, eh? Now I've flown all the way to the other end of the ridge from the takeoff, and there's lift all the way along the ridge. There we go, you see? And now I'm going to fly back again. So yesterday, a few things about yesterday. I had a heart rate monitor on yesterday. And I think on takeoff, my heart recorded about, oh hang on, just stop for this thermal. Oh yeah! Woohoo! Sorry, I just had to stop for that. Too much fun to miss out. Monitor just before takeoff, I think recorded about 120 beats per minute. My normal resting heart rate is below 60. 120 is just about in my cardio zone, I think. So obviously that's the stress of takeoff. And then there were a couple of spikes in it. One was when I started going down, and another one was when it rained on me. And those times my heart rate went up to about 146. So you can see the stress of that. And finally, when I went down to land, I was worried about the landing because of the strong wind. And again, my heart went up to about 146 at that point. Which just shows the fear, if you like, of the stressful situation increases your heart rate. Now the reason that's important, hang on, thermal. Lost that one, I was too busy talking to you. The reason the heart rate is important is because the faster your heart rate, the less you're able to think clearly. When you're flying, thinking clearly is very important. Particularly at times when you're in a dangerous situation, and that's when you need to think the most clearly, but it's also the time when you're probably least likely to be able to because your heart rate's increased. If you don't believe me, try going, say for example, on a road or a bike ride and put a lot of effort in. And while you're doing that, you just try and do some simple maths equations in your head, some simple sums. You'll find that compared to just doing it when you're sitting still and resting, that it's much more difficult. So it's important to keep that heart rate down if you can, which is why I'm going to be doing some monitoring of my heart rate this year over some of my flights and work on getting my heart rate down in those stressful situations. Breathing exercises are important, and also how you think about it. Sometimes for me, talking out loud, talking to myself helps to lower the stress level. That's why talking to you is good for me, because it keeps my stress level down. I'm really enjoying this flight. The other thing that I was talking about yesterday are some of my plans for this year and for my YouTube. So currently we're not able to go abroad, travel restriction from the UK. Woohoo! You're probably saying stop talking and start flying, Darren. Alright, just a minute. Bit of thermal going on here, that's why I'm going around in circles, bit of a thermal. That beeping you can hear is my vario telling me I'm going up. For this year. Currently we're banned from travelling out of the UK, so while that restriction is in place, I'd like to do some travelling around the UK and flying for some different sites, showing you some different sites and maybe giving you some site briefings. And also want to do some cross-country clinics, flying cross-country in the UK. What I intend to do with these is to actually show the planning behind the cross countries, show the weather forecast, my thoughts around it, and what I plan for my flight, and then show you the flight. And that's for my benefit as much as yours, because those more experienced pilots amongst you can look at it and tell me where I'm going wrong or how I can improve. So my cross country clinics, when I do those, I'd like some feedback from you please, and help me to improve. In addition to all this, once we're allowed to travel abroad, I'm hoping to go to Europe, do some flying in Europe. Particularly I would like to go back to northern Italy, to Modena, which is on the border near to Austria and Slovenia, where we had the World Championships in 2019. Really enjoyed flying around there, I want to go back. And I'd also like to go back to the Dolomites, fly the Dolomites. And of course, really importantly to me, if there's any competitions that I can get in, I want to fly in competitions, because that's when I learn the most, and that's when I have absolutely the most fun with all the other pilots. It's a really good camaraderie between all the pilots, and just absolute great fun. So those are my plans for this year. Flying in the UK first of all, then hopefully going abroad towards the latter end of the summer, and getting as much as I can on YouTube. But if you've got any thoughts or suggestions of what you'd like to see, other than me switching it off completely, then please just post them in the comments below. Let me know what you think. And if you've got any questions, post it in the comments below. Thank you. Now starting. Oh, it's looking right. Now starting to get a little bit higher. I've thermaled up to 2,400 feet. Quite nice conditions really. Fairly smooth when it's not bumpy. When it is bumpy, it's thermic. Thermic means there's thermals, which is good. That's what I want. So it's not bad. Quite enjoying this flight. Fly down to the end of the ridge now again, I think. So one thing, having talked about the heart rate thing before, one thing I've been concentrating on is just relaxing, feeling the glider, and thinking about what's happening, responding with my brain. And it's working quite well for me really. Just having a really enjoyable flight. Fairly relaxed. The more relaxed you can be in the air, the more you can feel what the glider's doing, the more you can be in tune with that glider, the more you can be in tune to the conditions, and the more you can react in an appropriate way and do the right thing for the conditions. Fairly smooth, look. Oh my god, it's flying itself! It's a bit all over the place when I do that. It's like driving your car, letting go of the steering wheel. It goes all over the road. Now let's turn around and go fast back. fast, just a little bit fast. I'm pulling my VG on. That alters the shape of the wing to make me fly faster and more efficiently. Bit of a thermal hit me there. Consider going back for it, but nah, change your mind. That was fun, wasn't it? That was fun, wasn't it? The VG back off again. Back to more normal trim flight. About a quarter VG on. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that flight. I certainly have. I think I'm going to go land now. Wind is starting to drop off. It's getting more difficult to stay up. But I've had a really good flight. I really enjoyed that. So I think I'm going to try and land now. Extra speed on for landing. Into wind now. Nice landing.